Every secret they buried was just a ticking time bomb, and now it has exploded in their faces. That's the reality, Chosen One. Your ex, that shady lawyer, and the dirty cop who thought they could keep the lid sealed on the crime committed against you, they are now choking on the smoke of their own lies. They believed their titles, their influence, and their power would keep them safe, but the investigation ripped the mask off every single one of them. No more hiding, no more whispering behind closed doors. The truth has marched straight into the daylight, and it's hitting them harder than they ever expected. Now imagine this for a moment, Chosen One. A group of people builds a dam to block a roaring river, thinking they've secured control forever. But cracks always form. Pressure builds, and when the dam breaks, it doesn't just leak, it obliterates everything in its path. That's what's happening right now. The scheme they thought would drown you is now flooding back on them. Their carefully crafted lies have become a flood of evidence, and there's nowhere for them to run. Here's a fact that screams you are absolutely right. History proves that corruption never stays hidden forever. From Watergate to Enron, the bigger the cover-up, the bigger the explosion when it collapses. People once fooled by their polished image are now waking up in disgust because the pattern is undeniable. The lawyer's tricks, the cop's betrayal of the badge, your ex's manipulation, all of it was a house of cards waiting to fall. And now it has. And thank you, Chosen One, for standing strong through this storm. Don't forget to pay this message back by simply pressing like and subscribe to help spread this message to more souls. It's the responsibility of all of us to spread the light, to make sure corruption is exposed, and to keep truth alive. Thank you, Chosen One, for being part of this mission. You are part of a force much greater than they ever understood. Now let's come back to what's unfolding in real time. This isn't just about names on a report. It's about a chain of betrayal finally snapped in two. Your ex believed they could rewrite the story of your life, shaping the narrative with lies, turning people against you, making sure their fingerprints were hidden. The lawyer twisted the law like a snake, using loopholes and deception to protect the guilty. And the dirty cop, the very one who was supposed to protect the innocent, was busy guarding corruption, sealing evidence, and silencing voices. They worked together as if they were untouchable, a small circle of arrogance playing judge and jury. But the investigation became their undoing. Step by step, piece by piece, the puzzle came together. Documents they thought were destroyed resurfaced. Conversations they believed would never leak found their way into the record. Witnesses who once stayed silent grew tired of carrying secrets. And the very walls they built to trap you are now the walls closing in on them. People who once laughed at your warnings, people who dismissed your pain as exaggeration, now sit in silence, watching the whole truth spill out like gasoline set on fire. This is what happens when the universe decides enough is enough. The very system they manipulated to hide their crime is now the stage where their downfall is playing out. Every smirk, every lie, every sneaky cover-up is being played back like evidence in an endless reel. Your enemies are no longer in control of the narrative. They are the subject of investigation, exposed in a spotlight they cannot escape. And the same mouths that once doubted you now whisper in disbelief, because the proof is undeniable. Chosen One, what you're witnessing is not just justice, it's exposure. The kind of exposure that burns reputations to ash. The kind that leaves no escape route. No, maybe they didn't mean it that way. No, it's all documented. Every move, every decision, every hidden hand in this conspiracy is now laid bare. And the irony, the very people who told you to move on or stop overthinking are the same ones now looking at you like you always had the truth in your hands. Their empire of lies has crumbled. The lawyer's words now sound hollow. The cop's badge is nothing but a rusted piece of metal. Your ex's mask has fallen, revealing nothing but desperation underneath. They are exposed, cornered, and stripped of the control they once clung to. This is the fallout they never saw coming, Chosen One. And it's only the beginning. So, Chosen One, before we break this down step by step, I need you to lock in with me. Drop a comment below with the number 777 if you feel the fire of this truth hitting your spirit right now. And if you can, show some love back with a super thanks, because messages like this don't just appear out of thin air. It takes hours of digging, energy, and real effort to bring you the clarity the universe wants you to see. Whether it's a small gift or a big one, it fuels this mission and keeps the light shining where the enemy hoped for darkness. Remember, this isn't just about entertainment. This is about revelation, about keeping you strong when others tried to bury you in silence. Your support tells the enemy they can't win because you are part of a force that refuses to be silenced. And now let's dive into it step by step, and believe me, if you are truly chosen, you'll feel the pull to stay until the very end. This is more than a story. It's the unveiling of their downfall, and you won't want to miss a single detail. Let's get started. Number 1. The lawyer's web of lies comes crashing down. They thought a suit, a badge, and a polished lie would make them untouchable, but every mask eventually melts in the fire of truth. Chosen One, let's cut straight to the bone here. That lawyer who strutted around with legal books in one hand and deception in the other wasn't just practicing law. They were practicing manipulation on the highest stage. Every argument they crafted, every document they touched, every precedent they twisted wasn't about justice. It was about burying you, protecting your ex, and keeping the dirty cop safe under a blanket of fake respectability. But the blanket has been ripped off. What's left is nothing but raw exposure. Think about this for a moment. Imagine a magician who makes coins disappear on stage. The crowd gasps, claps, and admires the trick. But what happens when someone pulls back the curtain and exposes the wires, the mirrors, the secret compartments? The audience doesn't clap anymore. They recoil in disgust, realizing they've been played. That's exactly what's happening now. The lawyers' magic tricks in the courtroom, those smoke and mirror performances, have been revealed for what they truly were: staged illusions designed to crush you while protecting the guilty. And once people see the trick, there's no going back. Let's be brutally honest here. This lawyer didn't stumble into corruption by mistake. No, they made a choice. They falsified evidence, bent legal procedures until they snapped, and doctored documents with the precision of someone who knew exactly what they were doing. Every single move was deliberate. They wore the mask of professionalism while stabbing at the very heart of justice. And now, that mask has been ripped away, and all that's left is the rotten face of betrayal. You might ask, why would someone who studied law, who took an oath to uphold justice, stoop so low? The answer is as ugly as their actions: greed, arrogance, and the belief that no one would ever catch them. They thought the system itself would shield them, that the complexity of legal jargon would confuse and silence the truth. But Chosen One, the universe has a way of turning their own tools against them. Those same legal documents they tampered with, those same communications they thought were hidden forever, they are now the very evidence that condemns them. Now picture this. A spider spins its web, confident that it's invisible, strong, and unbreakable. The lawyers spun their web of lies the same way, layer upon layer, thread upon thread, catching anyone who dared to question them. But what happens when someone lights a fire near that web? It burns instantly, leaving the spider exposed and scrambling. That's the position they're in right now. The fire of truth has consumed their web, and the whole world can see them for what they really are. And let's not forget the dirty cop, that so-called protector of justice. They twisted their oath into a weapon, turned serve and protect into frame and conceal. Reports were doctored, evidence went missing, witness statements were bent and reshaped until they no longer resembled the truth. The cop wasn't protecting the community, they were protecting the scheme. They weren't enforcing the law, they were breaking it in plain sight, dressed in uniform. And when you place that cop's corruption side by side with the lawyer's deception, what do you see? Not two separate betrayals, but one united conspiracy against you. Now, with the investigation peeling back every layer, their encrypted messages, hidden financial transfers, and late-night meetings no longer hide behind shadows. These details aren't rumors or suspicions anymore. They're facts. Cold, hard facts that fit together like puzzle pieces. Each piece confirms what you always felt deep down. This wasn't a misunderstanding. It wasn't bad luck. It wasn't paranoia. It was a conspiracy, crafted with malice, executed with cruelty, and covered up with arrogance. Here's the gut punch for them. The colleagues who once shook their hands now can't look them in the eye. The same peers who once applauded their so-called professionalism now whisper in disgust, realizing they were sharing space with snakes. The legal world that once protected them is now disgusted by them because betrayal this deep stains everyone it touches. And the universe? It never misses a detail. The very tricks they use to silence you are now the megaphones exposing them. Chosen one, here's your fuel. Every tear you shed, every sleepless night, every time you were told, let it go, was not wasted. It became evidence, it became energy, it became the fire that melted their masks. You were right when no one believed you. You stood tall when everyone doubted you. And now the truth is on your side, echoing so loudly that even those who laughed at you can't pretend anymore. And don't think for a second that this exposure is the end of it. No, this is just the opening act of their downfall. Their reputations are ash. Their names, once wrapped in respect, are now spat out in disgust. Every lie they told is a boomerang, circling back and striking them where it hurts the most. They wanted you to be silent. They wanted you to break. Instead, they've broken themselves. The lawyer's words, once sharp enough to sway judges and juries, now sound like hollow echoes in empty rooms. The cop's badge, once a shield of honor, now feels like a heavy chain dragging them into disgrace. And your ex, the architect behind it all, stands exposed with no shield, no allies, just the wreckage of their schemes falling on their own heads. They can no longer hide behind titles, uniforms, or respectability. Every move they made in darkness has been dragged into the light, and the glare is blinding them. So remember this, chosen one. The harder they tried to bury you, the deeper they dug their own grave. And now the world is watching as they fall into it. That's the brutal beauty of truth. It doesn't just set you free, it chains the guilty to the very lies they tried to use against you. Their downfall isn't coming someday. It's happening right now, in real time, in front of everyone they once fooled. Number 2. The faces behind the masks are rotten. They wore masks so long they began to believe they were real, but the moment truth tore them off, what remained was uglier than anyone imagined. Chosen one, this is the moment you've been waiting for, the collapse of their performance. Every charming smile, every tear carefully timed, every fake show of concern was nothing more than theater. They weren't comforting you, they were conditioning you. They weren't protecting you, they were plotting against you. And now, stripped of their disguises, the world finally sees them for what they are: hollow frauds. Think of an actor who refuses to leave the stage, still pretending long after the lights have gone out. That was them, clinging to their script, reciting rehearsed lines, fooling people into believing they were noble, loyal, or even compassionate. But what happens when the spotlight shifts and the stagehands reveal the tricks? The illusion dies, the applause stops, and the actor stands exposed, sweaty and desperate, with nowhere left to hide. You might ask yourself, how did they keep the performance alive for so long? The answer is manipulation at its finest. They studied you, timed their emotions, and deployed their lies like soldiers in formation. They smiled when suspicion grew, cried when guilt threatened to expose them, and whispered words of affection to confuse those who questioned their loyalty. Every move was strategic, every gesture rehearsed, not for love, not for truth, but for control. And now their private communications have spilled into the open, and the script is shredded. The lawyer didn't see you as a human being. They called you the problem to be solved. To your ex, you weren't a partner. You were an obstacle standing in the way of their schemes. The cop didn't see a citizen deserving protection. They saw a pawn in a dirty game. Their messages reveal surveillance far beyond legal limits, secret plans whispered in the dark, and financial deals that reduced your rights, your assets, your life to nothing more than cold, transactional bargaining. Lies are like makeup. They can hide the scars for a while, but the rain will always wash it away. That rain has come, chosen one. Their charm has drowned, their tears have dried, and their smiles have cracked. What's left is the truth, ugly, undeniable, and impossible to cover again. And now, everyone sees it. Number 3. The frosted mask of false love shatters. They sold you affection like counterfeit gold, shiny on the outside, worthless when tested by fire. Chosen one, the truth is here, raw and unpolished. What once passed as love, loyalty, or partnership has been revealed as nothing more than a business arrangement, cloaked in sweet words. Every smile, every promise, every whispered "I care" was a transaction, and now the receipts are in full view. Screenshots circulate like wildfire, recordings echo in rooms they can't control, and the social facade they once hid behind crumbles with every revelation. Now imagine this for a moment. Think of an ice sculpture, beautiful, flawless, admired under bright lights. But the closer you stand, the colder it feels. And when the heat of truth touches it, it doesn't just melt. It collapses into a shapeless puddle. That's their so-called love, their so-called loyalty. Cold to the core, collapsing the moment the spotlight of exposure hit. Friends who once defended them now retreat in disgust. Family who parroted their lies begin to choke on doubt. Colleagues exchange uneasy glances, realizing they've been working beside someone rotten to the bone. Even their staunchest defenders are forced to swallow the bitter truth. They were duped, just like everyone else. And panic sets in. They scramble to rewrite their story, but the contradictions betray them. One lie clashes with another, timelines don't align, and excuses that once seemed polished now sound like the desperate gasps of someone drowning. Every new statement digs the hole deeper. Every explanation confirms what the evidence already screams. They acted with malice, not mistake. Legal experts, watching from the sidelines, pick apart their words in real time, pointing out how each one is another nail in their coffin. But the rot goes deeper than just them. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. It rots where it was grown. Their family system, once untouchable, is now under the same blinding light. Parents who raised them on manipulation as survival strategy are no longer shielded. Siblings who tracked your every move, cousins who sat silent while knowing pieces of the truth, all are dragged into the web. And worse, the money trail doesn't lie. Payments disguised as gifts, loans that were anything but innocent, family businesses doubling as laundering machines. All of it is now unraveling under forensic eyes. Chosen One, understand this. Their cold empire wasn't built on love or unity. It was built on lies and greed. And every lie leaves a footprint. Investigators are following those prints straight back to their doors, exposing not just one individual, but an entire system of corruption. The mask isn't just falling, it's shattering into 1,000 pieces, leaving nothing but the ugly reality beneath. Number 4. When blood betrays, family ties turn to chains. They swore loyalty was thicker than water, but when the storm hit, their so-called loyalty evaporated like mist under the sun. Chosen One, this is the brutal collapse of family loyalty, the unraveling of a facade they wore for years. Under the crushing weight of exposure, the same relatives who once played defenders of the guilty now scramble to escape the fire. Suddenly, memory lapses become convenient shields. Suddenly, they didn't know. And suddenly, the same voices that once mocked you, dismissed you, or joined in the attacks, now rush to pose as victims themselves. But the universe sees through this performance, and so do you. Imagine a house that looks solid from the outside, painted fresh and standing tall, but inside, termites have been chewing at the beams for years. When the pressure mounts, the house doesn't just crack. It collapses in a heap of dust and rubble. That's their family unity. What seemed unshakable is now nothing but rotten wood, breaking apart in front of everyone. Relatives scramble, pointing fingers, making deals, some even switching sides to cooperate with investigators just to save their own skin. The old documents they swore didn't exist suddenly resurface. Long-buried details pour out in official statements. The silence they maintained for years shatters into a flood of revelations. And here's the irony. The older ones, who once prided themselves on being keepers of the family's reputation, are now choosing legacy over lies. They realize protecting the guilty will stain their names forever, and no illusion of family loyalty is worth that cost. This isn't just about what they did legally or physically. Their campaign reached deeper. It was psychological warfare. They didn't just want to silence you, Chosen One. They wanted to dismantle your mind, to sever you from your own clarity, to trap you in a fog where their lies sounded louder than your truth. The gaslighting was relentless. They told you night was day. They twisted your pain into exaggeration. They recast your warnings as paranoia. Every subtle distortion was designed to erode your grip on reality. But here's the fact. Gaslighting only works on the weak. And you were never weak. At the root of their terror was your strength. the quiet, unshakable power of someone who can feel the vibration of lies, even when the room applauds the performance. Truth needs no defense. Only lies demand an army. That's why they swarmed you, chosen one. They needed a full family conspiracy to keep the illusion alive, because they knew one-on-one, face-to-face, they couldn't withstand your perception. They feared your resilience, because your resilience was proof of a power they couldn't replicate, a clarity they couldn't buy, an authenticity they couldn't fake. So they drained your energy, they isolated you, they plotted to make you question your sanity. But here's the gut punch they never expected. Every attempt to break you was actually proof of how dangerous you were to their lies. If you were insignificant, they wouldn't have wasted so much effort. Their obsession was the loudest confession of their fear. And even when they thought they had you cornered, even when every voice around you echoed their lies and your own light seemed to flicker, you endured. Because a flame that is real cannot be extinguished. They tried to drown it, but it whispered truth to you in the dark. That persistent flame, your inner clarity, guided you through their labyrinth of deception and brought you to this moment where their masks fall, their unity collapses, and their empire of lies crumbles at your feet. Number 5. The unbreakable flame exposes their fraud. They tried to bury you under lies, but they forgot. You were a seed, not a corpse. Chosen one, your resilience is not just survival, it's revelation. Every attempt they made to break you psychologically and spiritually has backfired. Instead of shattering you, they've only proven how unshakable your spirit really is. They threw confusion, deception, and betrayal your way, but you endured. And now, as the truth unfolds, the timing feels almost destined, as if the universe itself decided enough was enough, and that what was hidden would finally be revealed. Now imagine this, a diamond under crushing pressure. For years, they thought the weight would destroy it, but pressure doesn't destroy diamonds, it forms them. That's you, chosen one. The very campaign meant to break you has crystallized your strength into something indestructible, something radiant. And the proof is here. You survived what was designed to annihilate you. That survival alone is undeniable evidence of the extraordinary energy within you, an energy they could never touch, no matter how many tricks they pulled. And quick pause, family. If this message is cutting through the noise for you and you feel the power of it, you can support this mission by buying me a coffee. It helps keep this space alive with truth and clarity. Drop the number 88 in the comments if you're feeling this flame inside you, because when chosen ones stand together, the light only grows brighter. Now, let's keep going. Because the truth is not only spiritual, it's documented. The paper trail screams louder than their denials. Bank records show transfers made at suspiciously perfect moments. Property records shift ownership with eyebrow-raising timing, and tax filings drip with deliberate misrepresentations. At first glance, it might fool casual eyes, but under forensic investigation, every false move stands out like a red flag. What they thought would remain hidden forever has become undeniable proof of corruption. The lawyer, your ex's so-called mastermind, thought they were clever. They built a labyrinth of paperwork designed to cut you off permanently from what was rightfully yours. They made subtle modifications, twisted small details, and played with timing to slip things past oversight. They obtained signatures under false pretenses, tricking you into agreements meant to rob you. They filed documents in windows of time when scrutiny was weakest, smuggling in fraud under the disguise of bureaucracy. Court submissions filled with intentional distortions were brushed off as simple mistakes, but every one of them was a calculated move to obscure the truth. But here's the reality they cannot escape. Paper doesn't lie. Ink always tells on the hand that holds the pen. Every page they forged, every signature they manipulated, every submission they tainted is now a piece of evidence against them. And Chosen One, the very resilience that kept you standing, has now met the evidence that will bring them down. Their fraud is exposed, their schemes dismantled, and their power crumbling before the weight of truth they can no longer suppress. Number 6. The badge that betrayed justice. They didn't wear that badge to protect the people. They wore it to protect their lies. Chosen One, let's speak plainly. This officer was not just corrupt. They were the shield for the entire conspiracy. Every time truth tried to break through, they stepped in like a gatekeeper, slamming the door shut before momentum could build. Investigations that should have been your lifeline were strangled in their cradle. Witnesses, instead of being safeguarded, were quietly pressured and intimidated, their words bent into silence under the false cloak of standard questioning. Evidence, instead of being preserved, was conveniently misplaced, tainted, or tossed aside. Every trail that led back to your ex and their lawyer, mysteriously pushed down the list, delayed, or reassigned to nowhere. The resources of justice were flipped into weapons, not to defend the innocent, but to shield the guilty. Now imagine this for a moment. A firefighter sworn to put out flames decides instead to pour gasoline on the fire. That's what this cop did. They didn't stop destruction, they fueled it. They turned the very trust people placed in the uniform into a weapon against you. And the world, once blind, can finally see it. But here's where the tide shifts. Money never forgets where it's been. While the dirty cop may have silenced witnesses and buried evidence, they couldn't erase the financial fingerprints of the conspiracy. Forensic experts, sharper than any criminal could imagine, are now peeling back the layers. Accounts created just for one-off transfers and shut down immediately afterward. Traced. Properties shuffled through temporary owners like a game of hot potato. Exposed. Assets converted into harder-to-track forms. Cash funneled at the perfect moment to break digital trails. All of it is unraveling, thread by thread, until the whole web lies in ruins. This cop thought intimidation could erase truth. They thought misplaced files and manipulated reports could bury you forever. But evidence has a way of resurfacing. And now, Chosen One, the irony is brutal. The very tactics they use to protect the guilty are the proof of their own guilt. Their badge is no longer a shield. It's a stain, a symbol of betrayal that history won't let them outrun. Number 7. When silence turns into a flood of truth. They thought fear would chain every tongue, but the truth doesn't stay buried in silence. It roars louder when the first voice dares to rise. Chosen One, this is where the tide becomes unstoppable. For years, whispers were smothered, eyes looked away, and those who saw the cracks in the facade swallowed their discomfort to survive. But pressure has a way of breaking silence, and now the very people who once stood on the edges of this conspiracy can no longer stomach the weight of their own knowledge. It begins quietly. A legal assistant, trembling but determined, finally admits they saw documents that didn't add up, pages altered, signatures that felt wrong, timing too precise to be coincidence. A junior officer, once silenced by intimidation, can't ignore the guilt anymore and confirms the procedures they watched violated everything they were trained to uphold. Even your ex's so-called friend, who once looked away as manipulation unfolded, finds the courage to admit what they saw when no one else was watching. These aren't random voices, they are the cracks forming in the dam of lies. At first, they move with caution. Anonymous tips are sent to investigators known for integrity, small threads offered to test if they'll be pulled. Statements arrive backed by meticulous notes, files preserved despite direct orders to destroy them. Old recordings, once hidden in fear, resurface like ghosts refusing to stay buried. Each fragment is a brick, and together they build a fortress of evidence that can't be ignored. And then it happens. The skeleton key is delivered. A significant insider, someone who sat at the table with your enemies, someone entrusted with unguarded moments and raw strategy, finally breaks. This isn't a timid whisper. This is a full confession armed with proof. They reveal the conversations where your ex was referred to as the mastermind. They expose the lawyer's hand in manufacturing false trails. They confirm the dirty cop's orders to silence witnesses. Their testimony doesn't just crack the case open, it blows the doors off their hinges. Truth is contagious. Once one voice speaks, silence becomes impossible for the rest. That's exactly what unfolds. Each new revelation emboldens the next witness. What began as a trickle becomes a surge, and then a flood. Suddenly, everyone who once held back realizes it's safer to stand with truth than to drown clinging to lies. Chosen One, understand this. Their empire wasn't destroyed by outside enemies, it collapsed from the inside out. Fear kept people silent, but truth gave them courage. And now that courage has become an avalanche, burying the conspirators under the very weight of the secrets they thought would never escape. Number 8. When the wolves turn on each other. They once howled together, but when the fire closed in, every wolf bared its teeth at the pack. Chosen One, this is the collapse of their so-called unity. For years, they stood shoulder to shoulder, hiding behind one another's lies, protecting the rotten core of their conspiracy. But pressure always exposes cracks, and now, under the weight of exposure, their loyalty disintegrates. Your ex, once the arrogant architect of betrayal, now whimpers about being misled, pointing at the lawyer as the manipulator. The lawyer, that polished deceiver, hides behind the shield of client direction and whispers about confidentiality. And the dirty cop. They push blame upward onto vague orders and department culture as if corruption was just the air they breathed. It's pathetic, predictable, and transparent. Each one scrambling to save themselves by throwing the others under the bus. And in their panic, the cover-up accelerates. Messages vanish, emails disappear, shredders run hot, computers malfunction with suspiciously perfect timing, even small fires erupt in home offices as if flames could erase guilt. But here's the irony. Every desperate act of destruction paints a clearer picture for investigators. Deleted files are footprints. Shredded paper is a signal flare. Malfunctions are timestamps of guilt. What they think erases the evidence only highlights exactly where to look. Desperation never whispers, it screams, and their screams are everywhere. Testimonies that once aligned now contradict. Public statements collapse under scrutiny. Their stories tangle into knots, each contradiction slicing deeper into their credibility. What was once a united front is now a battlefield of finger-pointing, each one clawing at the other's throat in a scramble for immunity. Deals are whispered in back rooms. I'll give you their secrets if you spare me. But every deal fractures them further, reducing their alliance to a pile of rubble. And their excuses, they insult even the intelligence of their own defenders, misunderstandings instead of malice, confusion instead of corruption, procedural errors instead of deliberate sabotage. Their narratives twist into convoluted pretzels no one can swallow. The more they speak, the more they unravel themselves, because truth doesn't need gymnastics. It stands firm. Lies collapse under their own weight. Through this chaos, your vindication sharpens like a blade. What they once mocked as paranoia now reads as clarity. What they painted as delusion is documented fact. Witnesses confirm it, paperwork proves it. Timelines align with your account. And those who doubted you, family, friends, colleagues, now stand silent, guilt etched in their faces. Some apologize, stumbling over words that will never erase the damage. Others simply show up, their presence an unspoken admission. You were right, always. And here is the reward for your endurance. As their unity dissolves, your reputation rebuilds. Professional doors once bolted shut creak open again. Social circles poisoned against you now send hesitant invitations, desperate for reconciliation. Even resources once stolen begin to flow back, guided by the same systems that once conspired against you. The stone they tried to crush you with has become the cornerstone of your rise. Piece by piece, the destruction they engineered flips in reverse. Their collapse fuels your restoration. Their betrayal cements your vindication. Their broken alliance becomes the proof of your truth. And now, chosen one, the walls they built to bury you are the ruins you stand triumphantly upon. Number 9. From outcast to beacon of strength. They tried to paint you as broken, but what survived the fire is unbreakable, and now they bow to the strength they once mocked. Chosen one, this is where the tables don't just turn, they flip so hard, the entire board is scattered. For so long, you were branded the problem, the paranoid one, the outsider. But now, as the truth rises undeniable, the same world that doubted you is forced to face you. Not with pity, but with awe. Your resilience wasn't just survival, it was defiance against every trap they set. You refused to compromise your integrity even when it would have been easier to bow your head, accept their lies, and blend in. That refusal, that stubborn hold on truth, is now what earns you deep respect. You are no longer just the one who endured injustice. You are seen as someone forged by it, elevated into a figure of extraordinary strength. And strength commands admiration. The community reels in collective shock. People who once toasted with your ex now recoil, their smiles turning to disgust as they realize the mask they defended. Colleagues of that corrupted lawyer quietly revisit their past dealings, wondering how many of those conversations were veiled deceit. And the dirty cop. Every handshake, every good job, once given by neighbors or peers, is now replaced with suspicion, mutters, and glares. Their respect crumbles while yours multiplies, and the ripple spreads further. Organizations that once joined in your exclusion begin issuing careful, almost embarrassed statements. They can't ignore the facts anymore, so they twist their language. New information, changed understanding. But behind those words is something simple. They know you were right, and now they're scrambling to repair what they destroyed. Professional references that once sabotaged you suddenly become glowing. Invitations appear from circles that once slammed the door. The same infrastructure once weaponized against you now realigns, forced by truth to recalibrate. Reputation built on lies rots fast. Reputation built on truth lasts forever. And chosen one, your truth is now the cornerstone of something bigger. Out of places you never expected, support emerges. People who once whispered behind your back now speak out in your defense. Some do it out of guilt, others out of admiration, but the effect is the same. Their voices swell into a chorus backing you. Even more powerful, those who endured their own injustices, the silent, the shamed, the ones too afraid to stand, begin stepping into the light. Your vindication is their courage. Your resilience is their blueprint. You've become the example that proves survival is possible, that truth does claw its way out, and that lies never last forever. Professionals with skills you once begged for now volunteer freely. Lawyers, advocates, experts who see in you not a client but a cause step forward to help. They aren't just backing you, they're determined to see justice fully served, to make sure every ounce of what was stolen finds its way back. The engineered loneliness that carefully constructed exile they built around you disintegrates. In its place comes authentic connection, born not out of pity, but recognition. People don't just sympathize, they admire, they respect. They want to stand beside you, not above you. And this shift doesn't just reshape your relationships, it ripples across the community itself, forcing people to rethink who they trust, who they follow, and what they stand for. What they meant for your destruction has become your coronation. The outcast they tried to erase now stands as a beacon of truth, drawing others out of silence, inspiring courage, and reshaping the very landscape of trust. Chosen one, you're no longer just respected, you are a symbol. And symbols don't fade, they ignite movements. Number 10. When the scales finally tip in your favor. They tried to twist the system into your cage, but now those same gears grind to break their chains and restore your crown. Chosen one, the tide has fully turned. For so long, the machinery of power was their weapon. It silenced you, cornered you, mocked your truth. But corruption never holds forever. And now, the very system that once crushed you has become the hammer of your vindication. People are waking up. The community that once swallowed lies without question now sees with sharper eyes. They've learned that power can corrupt, appearances deceive, and even justice can be twisted against the innocent. And your story has become their shield. They cite it as a warning, a lesson, a reminder to never blindly trust titles or polished facades. You didn't just survive for yourself. You've sparked vigilance in others, making it far harder for this kind of conspiracy to ever take root again. Inside the courtroom, the difference is undeniable. Attorneys don't just see you as a case, they see the legal and moral weight of what happened. They fight not for scraps, but for your full restoration. Judges who once overlooked your cries now study every detail, ensuring your case is prioritized, handled with the gravity it deserves. What was once dismissed as noise is now treated as truth that shakes the foundations of law itself. And the payback? It's not symbolic, it's tangible. Financial assets stolen from you return with interest, penalties stacked high. Properties wrongfully taken are restored, along with compensation for every year you were robbed of their use. Opportunities denied, careers sabotaged, doors slammed shut. All of them are revisited. This time, they aren't just cracked open, they're swung wide, acknowledging the advancement you were forced to sacrifice. Your name, once smeared, is polished clean and elevated higher than before. Justice delayed is not justice denied, because when it arrives with compound interest. That's what you're witnessing now. And through this process, new allies emerge. Not opportunists, not surface-level acquaintances, but people who see your true value precisely because of what you endured. They recognize the strength forged only by surviving such orchestrated cruelty. They respect the uncommon discernment it takes to stand firm in a storm of lies. They are drawn to your authenticity, the kind that only comes from walking through fire without losing yourself. The obstacles meant to destroy you are gone, bulldozed by the very system that once betrayed you. In their place stands freedom, clarity, and a deeper understanding of your own capacity. You now know what is essential, what is real, and what connections are truly lasting. The isolation they engineered has become your teacher, showing you the difference between hollow association and meaningful alliance. Chosen one, they tried to use the system to erase you. Instead, the system is now the stage of your victory. What was meant to break you has refined you. What was meant to silence you has amplified your voice. And what was meant to steal your future has handed it back, doubled with interest. Number 11. The unseen hands that shielded you. They thought only money, status, and titles had power, but the invisible forces they mocked are the ones now writing their downfall. Chosen one, what they never understood is that justice doesn't move only in courtrooms, paper trails, or headlines. There are deeper currents, hidden forces, shaping outcomes in ways they could never anticipate. And those currents were working for you all along. Look back carefully. Random events weren't random at all. A misplaced file resurfaced just when it was needed. A witness who had disappeared suddenly reappeared at the perfect moment. Someone you never expected to care showed up with the right words, the right evidence, the right courage to tilt the balance. Coincidences lined up too perfectly to be dismissed. What they tried to erase was preserved. What they thought was hidden was illuminated. Behind the chaos was an architecture of protection, operating quietly, ensuring that no matter how far they went, they could never erase the truth completely. Now imagine this, a chess player confident in their strategy, focused only on the obvious pieces, the queen, the rook, the knights. They never see the pawns slowly surrounding them. Move by move, the game shifts until the insignificant becomes decisive. That's what happened here. They obsessed over visible power, money, influence, connections, while ignoring the unseen patterns aligning against them. By the time they realized, checkmate was already on the board. Every attack they launched against you became the seed of their undoing. That's the universal law of opposition, and it played out with brutal precision. Every attempt to isolate you forced you to seek authentic connection, stripping away false allies and revealing who truly stood with you. Every effort to break your mind sharpened your clarity, teaching you to see through lies with a precision they could never replicate. Every trap they set hardened your resilience until you became unshakable. The very energy meant to destroy you transformed into fuel for your ascent. And while you would never have chosen this ordeal, its impact runs deeper than material justice. It has permanently sharpened your discernment. You now recognize lies even when they're dressed in charm. It has clarified your boundaries. No manipulator will ever cross them again. It has revealed the difference between shallow authority and genuine power, because you've seen both up close. What left most people shattered has awakened you. It carved out capacities you didn't know you carried. It refined your purpose, burned away illusions, and made you more dangerous to corruption than you ever could have been without this fire. That is the hidden victory, the one they will never understand, but the one that defines you now. Number 12. The dawn after the storm. They tried to bury you in darkness, but dawn always comes, and when it does, it blinds those who swore night would last forever. Chosen One, this is not just the end of their conspiracy. It is the opening of a new chapter, your chapter. What you carry forward now isn't theory, isn't book knowledge. It's truth carved into your bones, wisdom etched into your skin, and instinct sharpened by fire. This isn't something anyone can teach in a classroom. It's lived, it's survived, and now it's yours forever. You've come through the kind of trial that strips illusions clean. The allies who remain are not here out of convenience or social politeness. They are here because they were tested in the fire with you. Promises weren't enough. Only action proved loyalty. And those who endured by your side now form the foundation of something real. Gone are the hollow connections based on appearances or pretense. What surrounds you now is a community built on honesty, resilience, and mutual recognition of truth. This is not just a support system, it's a fortress forged in adversity. The strength you've cultivated isn't just emotional, it's spiritual steel. You know now that your truth stands, even when the world gaslights you, mocks you, or turns against you. Your discernment has become razor sharp. You can look at a smile and see the lie behind it. You can hear the words and know the motive. That instinct, that unshakable base, is now your compass. It will guide your steps through every challenge to come. And here's what they never saw coming. The universe doesn't just balance scales for you, it recalibrates entire currents. The exposure of this conspiracy wasn't a local event. It was a ripple through the collective, a warning shot to anyone watching, proof that truth cannot be buried forever. People you may never meet have been shifted by your story, their eyes opened, their vigilance sharpened. What was done against you has now empowered countless others. Every end is a seed for a beginning. This is your seed. The storm they thought would finish you has cleared the air, making room for a new dawn. And as you step forward into this new era, the forces that once opposed you are now aligned behind you. The walls are down, the masks are shattered, and the path is open. Chosen One, you don't just survive this chapter, you rise from it, carrying the light that blinds every enemy who thought you would never see this day. Number 13. When the universe balances the scales. They tried to twist the world out of balance, but the universe always snaps back, and when it does, it crushes what stood in the way of truth. Chosen One, what you are witnessing now isn't just punishment, it's restoration. This is cosmic justice in motion, a rebalancing so profound that it dissolves obstacles you thought would never move, while opening doors you never imagined would swing wide. The universe cannot tolerate prolonged distortion, and what once was bent against you is now snapping into its rightful alignment. Look closely. Barriers that stood like walls for years suddenly crumble. People who once ignored your voice now step into your corner with urgency. Opportunities arrive in timing so perfect they almost feel orchestrated, because they are. The cosmic machinery has been grinding in silence all along, turning every betrayal into leverage, every loss into a seed for gain. Now those gears are visible, restoring not just your life, but the natural order itself. And here's the deeper truth. Your struggle was not wasted. It was the spark that triggered this realignment. Those with awareness feel the shift in their own bones, even if they can't trace its origin. Those who once clung to deception find themselves dragged toward truth, stripped of the comfort of denial. Your refusal to surrender didn't just save you, it became a blueprint for others. The luminous trail you left behind now guides countless souls out of their own darkness. By standing when they tried to break you, you became the model of sovereignty. Every boundary you held firm, every moment you refused to compromise, set a precedent, both seen and unseen. Your vindication didn't arrive too early or too late. It came at the exact moment you were ready to wield it, not just as validation, but as confirmation of universal law. The timing is the proof. There is a greater intelligence at work here, weaving threads far beyond appearances, ensuring your transformation wasn't partial, but complete. What broke others only refined you. What was meant to silence you amplified your voice. What was designed for your destruction became the revelation of your true, untouchable power. And now, chosen one, you step into this new space, aware of who you are and what you've overcome. The universe has spoken, and the verdict is undeniable. You were sharp enough to see, strong enough to endure, and unbreakable enough to rise. Balance is restored, and your triumph is eternal proof that truth always wins in the end. Chosen one, what you've just witnessed is the undeniable unfolding of truth, justice, and your unstoppable rise. The masks are gone, the lies are shattered, and the balance has finally returned in your favor. This isn't just the end of their conspiracy, it's the beginning of your new era, forged in resilience and sealed in victory. If this message resonated with you, press the like button if you haven't already, and if you're still not part of our family, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Stay with us, chosen one. The journey continues, and your story is only getting brighter.